Hello, my name is Dale Farnan, and I'm a senior mechanical engineering student here at the University of Maryland. As a mechanical engineering student and a senior, I have spent a lot of time in this building, Glenn L. Martin Hall. Glenn L. Martin Hall is the most important engineering building on the University of Maryland's campus, and it offers almost half of all engineering courses offered at the University of Maryland are taken inside this hall. As a senior, I've taken probably between 15 and 20 courses in this hall. And I've grown used to it and even rather fond of it, but it's not perfect. The problem with Glenn L. Martin Hall is, even though it's an engineering building, it has two glaring engineering mistakes in its construction. Mistake number one is that the stairs at the front of the building are sloped inwards towards the center. This has the unfortunate effect of collecting rainwater whenever it rains and forming a huge puddle right on the stairs that students need to walk up to get into the building every time it rains that they can't avoid. Engineering mistake two is that if you go inside this hall, there's a water fountain that's controlled by a handle on the side. If you pull down the handle, water comes out, and the more you pull it down, the more water pressure you get. The problem with this is, if you pull down the handle all the way, there's way too much water pressure, and the water will actually fly out of the water fountain and splatter all over the ground and your clothes. So, as an engineering student, it struck me as kind of undesirable to have a poorly engineered engineering building at the University of Maryland. I think the University of Maryland should be able to fix this building for three reasons. Reason one, it's embarrassing and ironic to have a poorly engineered engineering building. Reason two, it would be relatively inexpensive and convenient for the university to fix these two minor problems. And reason three, you could actually get the engineering students who work in this building every day to fix these problems. So, reason one, it would be inexpensive for the University of Maryland to address these engineering problems. The University of Maryland has an insanely large budget, and as such, simply fixing a water fountain and some stairs are not going to break the bank. It would also be relatively convenient. While construction was going on these main stairs, students could use these stairs to go up and around and in, or the separate entrance, which is right over here behind these trees. In addition, taking out one of the water fountains in the building for a short amount of time to replace it or fix it is not going to be an undue hassle for the students. Reason number two is that it's embarrassing and ironic to have a poorly engineered engineering building at the University of Maryland. I think this one speaks for itself. The University of Maryland is a very prestigious university, and it wants to present a very polished look to students who both visit and go there. As a student, these small flaws really decreased my quality of life here at the University of Maryland. Every time it rained, I would go to my classes in this building with soaking wet socks because I had to walk through a puddle to get in. When I was a freshman and wanted a drink, I put water all over myself and the floor because I expected the water to stay in the water fountain, but apparently that's not how it works here. The third reason that we should be able to fix this problem is that this is a building full of engineering students. Let's put them to work engineering this building to be better. Students could do this as part of their senior project. For example, civil engineers could look at the design of the stairs, so they would design them so that water runs off to the sides instead of pooling into the middle. They could put together a proposal, and they could even build it themselves. For the water fountains, you could get electrical engineers or even mechanical engineers to look at everything that goes into a water fountain, choose the best design, and build one that works and keeps the water within the fountain. It shouldn't be hard to find people who do this because engineering students are always looking for senior projects to do. So, to recap, The engineering building at the University of Maryland, Glenn L. Martin Hall, has some basic engineering flaws that the university should fix, for 3 reasons. It has the money to fix them, it's embarrassing for a university to have a poorly engineered engineering building, and it has all of the manpower it needs to tackle these problems right in that building, in the engineering students. Thank you so much for your time and consideration.